These are some of the largest YouTubers that were cancelled for reckless, disrespectful, and even criminal activities. So going from the oldest to most recent, we're gonna find out why they were cancelled, how they responded, and where they are today. And rolling the clock back to early 2017, the biggest YouTuber on the platform faced a seriously brutal cancellation. PewDiePie was flying high at the time with over 50 million subscribers. He had signed off on an exclusive YouTube Premium series and was getting millions of views on every video, but this would all come crumbling down with what Felix believed to be a few harmless pranks, because in a couple videos he paid people on Fiverr to hold up signs reading anti-Semitic comments, whilst in another video he paid a Jesus lookalike to say Hitler did absolutely nothing wrong. As you can imagine, this hit mainstream media, and PewDiePie was under attack, to the point where YouTube had no choice but to pull the plug on all things PewDiePie. His premium series was cancelled, and he was removed from the premium partner program, meaning his YouTube ad revenue was slashed overnight. PewDiePie responded soon after
that my intention was just to show how stupid the website is and how far you can push it by paying $5. I'm sorry for the words that I used, as I know they offended people, and I admit that the joke itself went too far.
It took time for Felix to recover his image in the eyes of the public, but he did eventually manage to grow his channel to over 100 million subscribers, where he has now moved to Japan and lives as a semi-retired YouTuber enjoying the fruits of his labor. Unlike Logan Paul, who is still getting involved in controversy after controversy, but none come close to the magnitude of what occurred in December 2017 when he was at the peak of his vlogging career. This version of Logan was loud, obnoxious, and pushed the boundaries day after day, chasing views and subscribers until he eventually got burnt. During a trip to Japan, Logan Paul thought it would be a good idea to vlog in the so-called suicide forest, and to little surprise, they encountered something truly shocking.
I think there's someone hanging right there. Excuse me?
Instead of putting the camera down, Logan continued to film, smile, and even laugh, which, as you can imagine, did not go down well on YouTube. The video was live for 17 hours before YouTube took it down, as the whole world turned on Logan, prompting a response.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment, and I don't expect to be forgiven. I'm simply here to apologize. I should have never posted the video. I should have put the cameras down. I want to apologize to the internet. I want to apologize to anyone who's seen the video. I want to apologize to anyone who has been affected or touched by mental illness or depression or suicide. But most importantly, I want to apologize to the victim and his family.
After this, YouTube halved his ad revenue, all brands associated with Logan dropped him, and his YouTube career was looking like it was finished. But after a couple boxing fights, hundreds of podcast episodes, and what seems to have been a considerable amount of effort put into bettering himself, Logan won back the goodwill of some of the public, as this is never really brought up anymore. But not everyone forgave him. I don't care how many people say he's changed. This is so low. Absolutely unforgivable. Logan has been involved in a number of controversies since, like the CryptoZoo scam. But despite the severity of that situation, Logan lives on unfazed and uncancelled. But the same can't be said about James Charles, who never truly recovered from his cancellation, because in 2021, a 16-year-old boy came out on TikTok to expose James as a groomer.
So last Wednesday on the 17th, James Charles snapped me on Snapchat. He added me back because I had snapped him a while ago, just like a fan to influencer conversation. So he started making the conversation very sexual, and it made me really uncomfortable.
James then took to Twitter to respond to these allegations. The accusation that I have groomed someone is completely false. I asked him how old he was, and he told me he was 18, so I started flirting back. Later in the day, he said a few things that made me question the validity of his original age answer, and when I asked him to confirm his age once again, he admitted he was 17. I told him I was really uncomfortable and apologized for flirting. At this point, it was one word against another, but not long after, 2 more victims came out citing similar incidents with James, which caused him to upload a now deleted video titled "Holding Myself Accountable."
First and foremost, I need to say sorry. I owe a massive apology to anybody that I've hurt or anybody that I've made uncomfortable with my actions. These conversations should have never happened. I trusted the information that was given to me rather than the information I could have and should have gotten myself. In both of these situations, doing research into these people's public social media profiles would have revealed their true ages, and therefore these conversations would have never happened in the first place.
James then goes on to explain that his unlucky relationship streak led him down this path, seemingly looking for a pity parade from his fans. But comments like this show a different outcome. The way I used to be one of his biggest fans, I couldn't look past this situation. He's honestly just a bad person. Following all of this, YouTube demonetized his channel and dropped him from their YouTube original series, along with him being dropped by many of the makeup brands he was working with. Since this cancellation, James has seen a 90% drop off in his average views per video, but he still remains active on the platform, unlike David Dobrik, whose channel has turned into a ghost town after he got cancelled. David Dobrik's cancellation was really built off the back of two major unrelated events that both came out at the same time, destroying David's reputation. Firstly, we have the Jeff Wittig situation, which happened in June 2020. David and his vlog squad were filming a video where they would take part in dangerous stunts, but this was taken one step too far when David got control of an excavator and his friend Jeff attached himself to the end of it. David started to spin the machine around way too fast, causing Jeff to crash into the side of it. And just like that, Jeff was rushed to the hospital and barely survived with over 10 injuries and permanent damage to his eye. Since then, Jeff had to undergo surgery after surgery, whilst David returned to vlogging. And Jeff, who initially sought to protect his friend's public image, realized he wasn't much of a friend at all.
Has David messaged you to see if you're okay?
Nope. Not a text or nothing.
So in March of 2022, he began to publicly attack David, prompting a public response titled "Discussing What Happened." But the issue here was that David victimized himself throughout the video rather than sincerely apologizing to Jeff.
This weighs on me every fucking minute of every day of my life. Ah, fuck, I'm so late.
David describing the incident as the worst thing that ever happened to me and not the worst thing I've ever done is very telling. The world started to turn on David, but just 2 weeks later, things would get so much worse when Business Insider released an article detailing an SA victim that was in one of David's vlogs. In this vlog, ex-member Dirty Dom is said to have essayed a drunk girl who was below the legal drinking age. This occurred in a now deleted video from 2018 titled "She Should Not Have Played with Fire." And when this all came out, David's career was finished. He lost 100,000 subscribers in a day. YouTube suspended him from the partner program and all his brands dropped him. He released a first apology video so bad that he was forced to make a second one, where at least he seemed genuine this time around.
Didn't address the situation with these women. I'm not talking publicly, I'm saying even privately. I didn't reach out to any of these people, and that breaks my heart knowing that I was doing all this stuff and I was making all this content while there was people that were still really hurt.
After this, David uploaded 26 more vlogs before he seemingly quit YouTube altogether. Although he can still be found on Snapchat, where he makes content regularly after signing a deal with that platform, but the damage done to David's reputation seems severe enough that he will never return to his former glory. And the same can definitely be said about Colleen Ballinger, who destroyed her reputation with downright disgusting behavior and then uploaded the worst apology video in YouTube history. Colleen is one of YouTube's OG creators, having played the Miranda Sings character for 16 years, amassing an audience of 10 million subscribers. In this time, she also built a personal channel of 8 million and a vlog channel of 3 million subscribers. It's safe to say she's a massive creator with massive influence, and with that should also come massive responsibility. Unfortunately though, Colleen would use her influence to prey on underage fans, which was first brought to light in 2020 by a fan and old employee, Adam McIntyre, in a video titled "Colleen Ballinger, Stop Lying." Adam went on to detail the inappropriate acts that went on at a time when he was only 13 years old. She would send inappropriate messages discussing sex, jokingly ask for photos of his blank, and even went as far as to send him lingerie in the mail. Despite all of this didn't blow up in 2020, but a couple years later, more cases would come out of Colleen engaging inappropriately with more minors in group chats, which meant in 2023, everything started to blow up, causing Colleen to respond with one of the worst apology videos in YouTube history.
A lot of people are saying some things about me that aren't quite true. Doesn't matter if it's true though, just as long as it's entertaining to you. All aboard the toxic gossip train. You're chugging down the tracks of misinformation.
Yes, the response to being a groomer is to write a song and sing on the ukulele, and throughout the 10-minute song, she made herself to be the victim and continuously discredited all of the real victims. She only feels sorry for herself. What about the affected children? Not an ounce of accountability in this apology video. And this is so insulting to the victims, pretty much sums up this video. After all this blew up, she lost hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and she now struggles to pull 50,000 views as opposed to the millions she was oh so used to. Get famous, get money, and talk to kids seems to be the trend at the moment, because the same occurred with Dr. Disrespect, who was once one of the largest gaming streamers in the world, but has now lost everything after he admitted to messaging an underage girl. This all began on the 26th of June 2020, when Doc was banned from Twitch seemingly out of nowhere with no reason being given, and in Doc's last stream he had a worried look on his face.
We'll get through this Champions Clip. I know it's a tough... Life's weird right now.
After this, Doc switched to YouTube and business continued as usual, until the 22nd of June 2024, when everything began to crumble for him. As a former Twitch employee put out a tweet explaining why he was banned. He got banned because he got caught sexting a minor in the then existing Twitch Whispers product. He was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon. When this tweet came out, people didn't believe it, until Doc decided to release a statement of his own. Everyone has been wanting to know why I was banned from Twitch. Were there Twitch Whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. It is also important to keep in mind that at the time of these conversations, Doc was married with a child, and this basically put the nail in the coffin of his career, as he was instantly dropped from YouTube's monetization program, along with being removed from Midnight Society, the gaming studio that he founded. Since this tweet, Doc took a break off YouTube and posted 2 more tweets, the first being a cryptic image of a chessboard, and the second being the confirmation of his eventual return to YouTube, with replies reading, "I speak for everyone when we say we don't want you back." And notice how he's coming back when school is starting up again, showing that the gaming community will not take him back with a smile.